Hi guys, this is Hyunmin Max aka Max. Welcome back to another video on the channel. So for today, right, we're actually gonna be talking about the league players for the FUT Fantasy promo, right? You guys know the drill. How the fantasy cards upgrade, the market, and of course, right, what are some of the players to invest in. So we actually have new exciting content for the channel in the upcoming weeks, right? I'm actually gonna be doing trading videos, right? Trading method videos whereby I'm gonna teach you guys what are some of the different trading methods you guys can use depending on your budget. So even if you have very little coins or you guys are beginners, right, you guys can actually make coins. So if you guys want to make coins, right, do sub to the channel and watch out for the trading videos. So for today, we're actually going to be talking about the league players. So as you guys can see, we have Pi. 5-star skillers are actually always welcome. So his base card is actually 5-star skills with 3-star weak foot. So let's see whether EA actually upgrade that weak foot. So once it's released, I'll actually be doing a player review for the Pi. So do check out the video, right? We'll actually also be getting Marcos Llorente as well. So I remember using his goal at the start of the game and he was absolutely crazy for me. Right, so this upgraded version should be really good as well. Probably the top few midfielders in the game. So we actually also have Gory, who is actually gonna come as an objective. I think we'll actually see him at the content drop on Friday. So my guess is he will most likely be fodder, right? Unless EA really juices his card. So we also have Skriniar as well, alright, Italian League centre back. Right, if he does have like 84 pace, 90 defending, and 90 physical, I think he's actually gonna be pretty decent in game, right? Minimally. So we actually also have Alexis Sanchez as well. So the community actually wanted him as the Showdown SBC player, right? But instead we actually got Kolasinac. So if you guys have Payet, Klaus, or Eric Bailly, right, you'll be looking forward to see how this Sanchez plays in game. So I think, right, this completes the long list of PSG central midfielders we have in the game, right? We had the Showdown Soler recently, right? We also have the ones to watch Renato Sanchez, the Centurions variety, as well as Future Stars Vitinha. So lots of PSG central midfielders in game, right? The special ones. So we also recently had lots of English special cards, right? And Dele Alli is another that's scheduled to be released. So I'm excited to actually see how he'll play in game. So even though I'm not sure how often he does actually play for his team Besiktas, right? So if Besiktas fans, you guys can let me know in the comments. So Arsenal fans, right, who are actually struggling to put together a really good Arsenal team, right? You guys can rejoice. No, we're actually gonna be getting Saliba. I hope that he'll actually be a good enough centre back because French centre backs, right, are actually really easy to link in teams. So following on from the Jacob Murphy Showdown SBC, right, that I have also done a review on, right, link will be up in the top right hand corner. You guys can check out the Jacob Murphy review, right? We also have Isak as well. So my only concern is his agility and balance, right? Even though the predicted stats is actually 92 dribbling, he might not have high agility and balance. So we move on to the most exciting part of the promo, right? So I think the heroes are actually gonna accelerate the power curve of the game really greatly. So of course they don't come more meta, right, than David Ginola, 5-star, 5-star, right? His base version has the crazy finishing in game. So my guess is for this version, right, he's minimally gonna cost at least 5 mil, right? And he's gonna be out of reach for most of us, but we can always hope that we actually pack him. So another thing to take note is actually that this version will actually be the Prem version as well, right? So that's more hype. So when lengthy was actually still a thing, right? At the start of the game, people actually enjoyed using the base crouch. So I think this version is probably going to be cheap as well. So I've actually been using the World Cup version of Harry Kewell for a very long time, and he's actually really good at cam, which is a position that not many players can play in. So I'm looking forward to this fantasy version as well. So for those who are looking for a cam, this Kewell will probably play really well. So Abadi Pele, right, is actually another meta player at the start of the game, right? His base hero version was a nightmare to face, right? He has really good dribbling and finishing as well, and this version should play the same. I've also been using the World Cup Capavia, right? And in my opinion, right, he's the best left back in the game. He can defend really well. He wins his tackles, And when I play him as a left wing back in the 3-5-2, right, he does score quite a number of goals for me as well. So I can't imagine how good this fantasy version will be, right? He's probably gonna be hella expensive though, because his current World Cup version is actually still around 500k or so currently. Now to add to the hype, we have one of the top 5 center backs in the game, in my opinion as well. Right, his base version was actually really good, but I think this version is gonna be crazy expensive, probably 2 to 3 mil. Right, Cordoba is a really good defender because he jockeys really well, really quickly. So it's actually very hard to dribble past him. So I know you guys might be wondering, how do the upgrades work? Right, there are so many ways that the upgrades can work. So the first thing to take note is actually EA, right? They only count the next 6 domestic games starting on March 17, which is actually 2 weeks from now, right? So your cup games, your Champions League games, your Europa League games, your Europa Conference League games, right? They all don't count, only the domestic league games. So there are actually 4 ways in which the cards can upgrade, right? The first way is for the team to win 1 game in the next 6 domestic games. So for this, right, the player doesn't actually have to play, the team just have to win 1 game. So the second way is the player has to play 3 times in the next 6 games. Right, the third way is for the attackers and midfielders, they have to score 2 goals or assists. For the defenders and goalkeepers, they have to keep 2 clean sheets. Right, and the last way, right, which I think is the most tough, is actually to avoid defeat in the next 6 games. Right, which is basically to go unbeaten. So for all these, right, it's all +1 except for the avoid defeat. So other than the +1, you'll actually be getting 3 new traits. So we're not sure what are the traits. Hopefully it's the the meta traits, the outside the foot shot and the finesse shot. So I would say, right, an average team and an average player, right, should be able to get at least a +2, right? Because all the player needs to do is to play in 3 of the next 6 games, and the team only has to win 1 out of 6 games, right? So we'll actually be seeing some leaked packs as well. So we'll be getting a Peter Crouch loan player pack, right, similar to what we have with the Future Stars Alvarez and the Hero Ledley King. So I think he's probably gonna be in the Moment store as well. So following on, we also have the Pivot Essentials pack, right, contains 10 rare gold players with 1 guaranteed to be 86 or higher. You also get a lone mid-icon PP for 7 games, right? The Premium Pivot pack contains 70 rare gold players with 5 guaranteed to be 86 or higher. You actually get a Team of the Year lone player for 7 games as well. So I think both these packs will likely be store packs. So I actually want to talk about the Player of the Month, right? The nominees are actually out for the Prem. So for me, my vote will be with Marcus Rashford, right? He was simply outstanding for United in the past 2 months, right? He has been so clutch for us, scoring goals, scoring winning goals, scoring equalizers. He's doing everything. So if he actually wins, right, he'll actually be getting a 2nd consecutive Player of the Month. So for the Eredivisie, we actually have a confirmed winner, right? It's Berghaus. I think he's likely to be very cheap as well, considering that in the previous POTM, right, the goalkeeper that we have actually gotten was actually a fodder. He was actually a very cheap 86 rated player. So the next thing I actually want to talk about is actually the market. So with the leaks of all these FUT Fantasy promo players, right, and people realizing how good these players are, the market has actually dropped quite a significant amount, right? If you take a look at Kylian Mbappe, right, he was actually 820k. After the leaks came out, right, he dropped all the way down to his current price of 760k. So Mbappe, right, isn't the only player whose price actually dropped though, right? Right, some of the RTTFs actually also dropped a significant amount as well, right? So let's take a look at, for example, Anthony Martial, right? He actually peaked at 1.3. Now he's at 1.18. Martinelli was at 1.16. Now he's at 1.05. Right, similar for the rest of the cards as well. So where does this leave us? So for me, I think we have a really good opportunity to invest some of these RTTF cards, right? Because they have been really high for the past 1 week, right? So I think, right, we might actually see these cards, these RTTF and the rest of the meta market drop more before content on Friday, before actually rebounding back up. So which are some of the cards to monitor and buy, right? So for me, I think it depends on when the games are happening. So I think the most immediate one is the Champions League game between Chelsea and Dortmund, which is happening upcoming Wednesday, right? So Dortmund is flying high while Chelsea is actually struggling to score goals, and Dortmund leads 1-0 from the first leg, right? I know the second leg is away at Chelsea, right? But I really like the look of Marlon, right? He's currently at 113k. So he's actually a good investment opportunity, Marlon. I will actually be monitoring his price on Friday before the content drop. And when his price drops to a level that I am comfortable with, I'll actually be buying Marlon, right? I think he looks really good. So for the Europa Conference League, right, I'm actually looking at Nice, right? They play Sheriff next Friday. So I think Nice are actually really big favorites. So you take a look at somebody like Otal, right? You know, I think Nice are hot favorites simply because Sheriff is actually playing in the Moldovan League, which is actually not a top European league. And I've actually seen them play Man United, right? And I don't think they're a really good team. So Otal looks really good, right? His price actually peaked at 285k before dropping down to his current price of 250k, right? After the fantasy foot players were actually leaked. So expect to see his price shoot up after the content drop, because these are simply heavy favorites. So for the Europa League, I'm actually looking at Sevilla against Fenerbahce. You know, Sevilla, right, is actually they're actually Europa League specialists. They have won the competition so many times. I think they won 3 on the trot with Mr. Good Evening, right? Mr. Unai Emery. So let's actually switch over here, right? I actually want to talk about the Lamellas that I've actually bought, right? So when the Europa League draw was made, right, I actually bought a couple of Lamellas at 37k. So if you actually take a look at his current price, right, his current price is actually 42k, right over here, 42k. So you know, for those people who actually followed my advice in my previous video, whereby I told you guys to buy Lamela, right, which I think he's a good prospect, right? GG's to you. So if you guys have actually bought Lamela, I'll suggest to hold and sell him when he hits about 50k. And for those who are actually you guys haven't even bought him yet, right, I think you can do so after content drop on Friday, right? So what I'll be doing is I'll actually be monitoring the market and making trades live on Twitch before the content drop at 5:30 p.m. GMT, right? So do join us if you want to make coins. So the next thing I actually want to talk about is fodder, right? So your 82s are up at 1.1k, right? Your 83s are actually really high, 2.5. Your 84s are also high as well, 4.7, 4.8. So your 85s are the only ones that's actually considered lower, right? Your 85 and your 86s. So I think, right, with the FUT Fantasy promo release and there being so many good cards in packs, right, I'm quite sure lots of people will be opening up their packs, especially we have save packs as well from the past week, right? Because the re-release, right, the cards just ain't that great, and they are re-release cards, right? So there's not so much hype. So what this is gonna do, all the save up packs and all the hype for this fantasy promo, what this is gonna do is actually gonna make the fodder market drop. So I'll actually be doing subsequent videos to let you guys know what are the prices to go in at for the fodder, because I see a huge opportunity to make lots of coins with fodder over here. So I'm actually really excited with the player selection that EA has actually made for the FUT Fantasy promo, right? A lot of these are actually really meta cards, right? Especially the heroes, so they will actually slide straight into most of our teams, right? So if you guys enjoyed the video, right, do hit that like button. right? Like I mentioned, I'll be doing more trading videos in the next few weeks. So if you want to make coins, right, do subscribe as well. Right. I also want to thank you guys so much for the support that you guys have been showing me, on the YouTube channel. I think the channel has grown like really, really quickly, right? We are up to 150 subs right now, right? So yeah, thank you guys for the support, man. I really, really appreciate it. And I spend lots of time, right, making all these videos. I really spend lots of time, and I don't really get much out of it. I don't make money out of it, but all the little comments that you guys leave in my videos, right, and all the likes and all the subs and everything, right, actually really, really motivate me to keep going, right? So yeah, I really appreciate you guys a lot, and I'll see you guys soon. All right, take care, guys.